Hello and welcome StarCraft 2 viewers to another StarCraft 2 cast for the LPS Last Player Standing StarCraft 2 Open number 2. My name is Kopo and today we're going to be watching a PVZ between Oddz, our blue Protoss over in the bottom left hand spawning position, and Snake, our red Zergoff in the bottom right hand spawning position. Map today is again GSL Crevasse. It seems to be, I do believe that's the first map in all the best of 3s that they're doing in the round of 16 anyways. Which we are in. We are currently in the round of 16 for this tournament. The last round that me and Skittles will be casting. After us, I do believe Doa takes over to do the round of 8 onwards. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed what we've done so far and checked out their tournament. Obviously, we have a link in the description. And obviously you probably found our videos from their site anyways, but just in case you didn't, please go and check them out at lastplayerstanding.com. So actually, I don't believe I've had a chance. I think I casted one game of Snakes, but I haven't casted anything of Oddz yet. So I guess we'll see exactly how this goes. I do believe he was top 4 in the last StarCraft Open that these guys held. Pretty sure Oddz is pretty high up there. So obviously a very formidable player, one to watch out for. Snake again. I think I casted one of his games, but I don't quite remember. So we'll see exactly. He might be a bit of an unknown for this in this situation. Do see a Forge going down for Oddz at the front of his base. I don't believe he's going to intend on cannon rushing with this Forge, however. That would be very unwise, in my professional opinion. I'd have to say he's probably going to use some cannons for defense. Maybe try and secure an expansion early, get that economic advantage, but we do see a drone moving out for Snake to take that fast expansion, as it is nicely hidden up in your base and easy to secure. Overlords are nicely moving out around the map for Snake, as he is using them to get very good vision. For himself to use, Forge does now complete for the Protoss player. We see a probe moving out to build something. We'll see exactly what that something happens to be. Both players are scouting around the map, trying to find exactly where the other is. Little do they know, I do believe they're both in the spawning positions that they check last. Cannon does go down at the front to try and defend against any early little ling pokes that might occur. This hatchery well on its way to being finished. PVZ, so I do believe I've been calling it lately. Not a matchup I'm incredibly familiar with. I do play Terran. However, I do believe that I know enough about StarCraft to be able to do this. So we'll see exactly how this goes. Spawning pool is about half completed. I do believe it was dropped immediately after the hatchery, or as soon as those 200 minerals were accumulated. Fast Nexus does go down for Oddz. He probably recognizes the fact that Snake would be going for that fast expansion. So he decides to take one himself and try and keep himself even on base. Is always a good thing to do against a Zerg. Gateway going down at the front to maybe complete a wall off. I'm actually not sure. Yeah, I do believe it's actually a complete wall off. Easy way to tell, guys. Normally you can see a bit of a space in there, but if you highlight both the things, you can see if the circles overlap. That's when you know that there's no hole for anything to get through. It's easy to tell when a building's building or something. It's not always apparent if there's a hole there or not. That probe is actually going to be trapped outside his base. Very unfortunate. Snake's drone's going to come up here to try and get a bit of scouting in, but that photon cannon will quickly shut that down. However, the fact that he was killed by a photon cannon gives Snake loads of information. He knows that a Forge was dropped, and likely an expansion has been dropped behind that. Oddz did manage to get a probe into the base to scout this fast expansion by Snake, although this pool is up and lings will be popping quite quickly to be able to take care of that pesky little probe who seems to be harassing drones to no end. Drones are now moving to transfer over to the expansion, leaving their original home and moving to their new home. Hopefully they enjoy it just as much as they did their original. Gateway now completed for Oddz. We'll see Zealot does get trained out of that. No Cybernetics core dropped yet. There we do see one going down now. Supplies are in Snake's favor. 28 to 19. Not a big deal. It's early in the game. I'm sure Oddz will use this. Well, he will be behind in supply initially because he did drop that Forge instead of a gateway, so he could not pop any units out of that. He also spent 150 minerals on a cannon to use for static defense. That obviously did not go into supply, so it's reasonable for him to be behind, but he's using that everything he did to gain this early economic advantage, or at least to stay even with the Zerg in that regard. We do see that Cybernetics core is almost completed for Oddz. I'm sure he'll begin researching Warp Gate almost right away. Queens are being very diligent on their spawn larvae, as I'm sure we expect at this point in the tournament. We have weeded out most of the diamond level players. We are dealing with mostly Master, Grandmaster players here, and so obviously those larva injects should be spot on, as they are for most players of their caliber. And we do see another hatchery going down here, actually a fast third taken by Snake, taking his natural expansion outside his base to a full set of mineral patches and 2 Vespian geysers. It's always nice to get those that extra gas, as it seems like every race is always a short supply of gas. Lair is actually being researched for the Zerg. It does seem to be quite a fast lair, as it is dropping a roach worm behind it. So we'll see if there's some crazy fast tech coming out of this. He is grabbing, does look like a fair bit of gas. He's grabbing this gas geyser over here, and I'm sure he's taking this expansion mostly for the gas. We'll see if he decides to get any tech with that. I'm sure that does appear to be his plan. We do see 2 Stargates actually going up for Oddz in his base. We'll see if this little cute Phoenix, maybe Void Ray Harass, will do anything. Zerg's anti-air obviously early on is fairly weak. They do have queens, but those are really more of an annoyance than anything else in some cases. Phoenixes in particular can pick them up or just run away. Queens aren't, even on creep, aren't the fastest, and Phoenix obviously are the fastest, plus they can fly. Hatchery will almost pop here, and we'll see exactly what the tech choice decides to be for the Zerg. He's being a little bit creative here, as is the Protoss. You see a Void Ray being made back at home base for Protoss. And do a little bit of harassing this natural expansion here for the Zerg, as they are close by air positions. Drone transfer coming down to the 3rd base for Snake. We'll see if he decides to drop any special tech. We do see Glau Reconstitution being researched for the Zerg player, which I do believe is Roach Speed. There we go. Called it. Second time I've had to look up that upgrade since I started casting, and lo and behold, I'll eventually learn the names of all of them. Void Ray does come out. He's just going to sit here quietly waiting while the second Void Ray comes out to join him. We'll see if those two become very effective in the future. Missile attacks level 1 going down for the Zerg. You might be trying to spend a bit of resources on these roaches. Again, not the best thing to do against Stargate play. Those roaches have the inability to aim their heads a couple inches upward and shoot up. Another Void Ray coming out as well as a Phoenix out of these 2 Stargates. So he is going quite heavily into this Stargate play. He's making good use of his gas, but he is in short supply as a result. So might see the lack of gas put an end to this harass, depending on how effective it is eventually. Roach is hanging out down here after they have saturated that 3rd base. You see a Phoenix joining up with these 2 Void Rays. 2 more Phoenixes in production as the 3rd Void Ray comes along to join the air group. See if this harassment does any damage to the Zerg player, who will probably pull some queens as soon as he sees the Phoenixes. And see if these Void Rays do anything. Phoenix lifts the queen up, so it's unable to shoot, and the Void Rays will be able to charge on the queen and then probably do significant damage to the hatchery. If that's what they decide to aim for, it looks like it's exactly what they're going for. Trying to get rid of that Zerg's base. Well, I don't know if he's aware of this 3rd base down here. I could check his view, but I'd miss some very incredible Void Ray micro here, as this hatchery will likely fall. Roach is streaming across the map here, obviously going for a quick counterattack. He realizes his opponent probably has very little. Sentry's here to force field, but this destructible debris is here. And once that falls, that will leave a huge hole in the Protoss wall, something that won't be easy to fill. Gateway is now going down, 4 of them, in fact, for the Protoss player, trying to get them up before these roaches come in here and ruin his day. More roaches streaming in across. As these Void Rays do go and try and attack the Hydra Den, which apparently was a tech choice. Force fields go down, but they aren't incredibly effective. Most of the roaches get trapped back, but they're still able to attack that cannon. Now they can go to work at the rest of the wall, and these force fields will eventually die, allowing the roaches to fully stream in. There we go. They'll be able to try and catch these gateways just as they're morphing, so they won't actually be able to produce much for units, I do not believe. Burrow is almost completed for the Zerg player. Be able to see some burrowed roaches. Obviously that faster generation on them is quite nice. Probes are pulled from the main mineral line for Oddz as these roaches are streaming in, but again, Voiders and Phoenixes doing huge damage back here, picking off queens. 4 colors dropped, but I don't believe that'll be enough against this force. We aren't really in a base race scenario, but we are in a pseudo base race scenario. Roaches are destroying the main nexus here. He does have some X's up. Other than that, gateways are finished forming. He did not manage to kill those in time, as Voiders do damage to the roaches. They need to burrow. Protoss has no detection, and I don't believe he even has a robo. His hatchery is still down, has not been rebuilt, and these Voiders are doing damage to the evolution chamber, which will prevent him from building any further spore crawlers. These Hydras are out here, though. They could be able to do damage against the flying units. Roaches burrow over here after their nexus has got down and their goal has been accomplished. He could attack this pylon here, actually. That all those buildings are powered on one single pylon. Love to see him try and take that out. Actually, this pylon might be contributed a little bit, but a lot of these buildings are just on the single pylon. Burrowed Roach is going to move out after they've... there's this little group up here attacking the expansion nexus, which will fall, prompting the Protoss to be revealed, except he decides to plant a nexus down here and quickly gets spotted by the Zerg because he expanded pretty much right beside the Zerg. So Zerg was able to see that. More roaches. Same burrowed ones actually I think are coming back in for a second attack, trying to do exactly what they can. Voiders are still over here. Hydras and Queens, along with Spore Colors, trying to pick them off and fend off his harass. Phoenixes don't do a whole lot of good against static defenses. They can't lift him up. And chases us away, and Oddz calls GG as the roaches are streaming into his base and killing everything he holds dear to his heart. As this nexus was found, he was unable to prevent himself from being revealed once the snake was able to reinforce and kill this expansion nexus over here. So that was game 1 of this best of 3 for the round of 16 in the LPS Last Player Standing StarCraft 2 Open number 2. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the casting, and I will see you guys with game